Now this is called a side plank. A side plank is an excellent exercise for lower back discomfort and strengthening up your core so your back doesn't bother you anymore. But it's a lot of times for a lot of people, it ends up bothering them when they're doing it. So how do you do the exercise which is going to help you if it bothers you in the first place? I'm going to show you in this video how we can do some workarounds to it in 3 basic things that people can do to feel better while they're doing it to get a stronger core. Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian. Thanks for joining me on the channel. If you learn anything in this video today, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Now, the 3 basic things that people have issues with is number 1, posture of the exercise itself, or even in the break period. Number 2 is tension. Number 3 is dosage. So number 1 with posture, I'm going to start here for my feet, and I'm just going to show you if you drew a line from my head to my sternum, to my belt buckle, and then to my back foot, you're going to notice there's generally a straight line there, okay? And no matter if I go from my hands to my elbow and so on, it's kind of the same thing, all right? This is our good posture position. Now I'm going to show you a position here from the side here. We've gone over a plank in another video, so if you want to learn more about front planks, just go to that video instead. It's in the corner. There's also this thing that people do, this kind of snake-like, like lumbar extension, low back extension scenario, which ends up bothering their back while they're doing the plank, but also it carries over the same way to a side plank. And so what we would do first is we would take these little hang loose signs that we talked about in the bridge exercise video, is we're going to connect our rib cage and our belt line to that and see if we can shorten up the hang loose sign here and keep that hang loose sign while you're doing the exercise versus like letting it break open. To be fair, I think for a lot of people, especially who have not been going to the gym for a while, a side plank from the feet, even from the elbow, is too much. Mainly because we're trying to do 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off type of scenario, which we'll talk about dosage later, so hang around for that. I think from the knees is much easier, okay? It's easier to set this hang loose sign. It's easier to get into full extension here versus like the sloppy extension or what we call lumbar extension, right? So you go just like so, you push forward, you sit back into a chair, you push forward, you sit back into a chair. If your shoulder's working, it's a bonus. One version is actually going and you tuck on the shoulder here and you basically just create a straight line. You got to hide your feet pretty far from this one, but you go here and you create space under here. This one's insanely hard, but it spares the shoulder from the work. I don't necessarily think I would spare the shoulder all the time from the work. A lot of times when people have issues in the shoulder gives out first, it's just that tissue is weaker than the other ones. So why not just strengthen it in the process? The second one we can do and improve on is going to be tension. Most people, I think as a general rule, when they have been suffering with lower back discomfort and a grumpy back for years, is they tend to have really poor tension through the entirety of the exercise. Remember, the exercise itself is not just up and it's actually the downward part. So we call it the eccentric. And so it's the eccentric downward lengthening contraction, which actually is beneficial as well. So I like to have a really firm surface, or not firm, but like tacky surface here. And that's why I use the mat here. It's not because my elbow is sensitive. It's because I want something to tension into. This floor here is way too slippery for me, okay? And so if I actually go into the side bridge position and create my better posture from the start, you're going to notice that when you do that, it's actually the tension that does it, okay? And if I were to try to straighten out and then drill my knee into the floor, if I just pushed really hard, I would really light up the side of the body in a really good way, similar to the feet one. If I just focused on pushing that mat away from me, away from my feet, man, I'm going to get more oblique activity than I've ever had in the exercise itself. Now, back on the point of having poor tension through the entirety of the exercise, is most people do not push less, relax, right? By the way, relaxing isn't going like this, because this is the bad posture position too. The cool thing with tension is going to be that you can actually make the exercise harder, more intense without actually doing more weights. And that helps out with building better stiffness in the core, which is a good thing in this scenario. Now the last thing is dosage. I'd say almost everybody that I've met does poor dosage. They think, well, I've seen online that I should do like 10 of these, you know, and 10 of these and just up and down and up and down. And okay, let's say that's 10. Okay, I'm done, right? You see how calm my voice is right now, right, with it? It's because it wasn't hard for me. So ideally, the way the body operates, the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, is they all are based around adapting around the forces or loads that you put on it chronically, meaning over time. Now, if this is too easy for me and you're doing this for months and months and months, your body doesn't have a need to adapt. So it doesn't, okay? And the whole point of you doing the exercise is for that purpose. Probably your shoulder will because your shoulder's getting tanked, but the rest of you won't really, okay? So instead, let's do a dosage which is actually appropriate. And so generally it's 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off, until you've hit what we call perceived effort range, which is going to be 70 to 80% of perceived effort. 100% means complete failure. I can't do a physical another one. It's 100% you're done, right? This will actually build up more over time, and if you keep the break time short, like the 5 seconds, and not go like 10 seconds on and like 30 seconds off, your endurance raises. And I know a lot of people, the fault they've been doing in this exercise in the first place is they've been doing it too long. All right, you've been doing like 2-minute side plank holds or 1 minute, and you're like struggling at the end. You don't need to do that, okay? Ideally, I think everybody should be able to, in theory, hold at any point in time in their life, be able to hold a 1-minute side plank at bare minimum. And the other side should be the same. It shouldn't differ more than like 5 seconds or so. But the way to get there is not to do a 1-minute side plank when you first are doing it. Do 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off, and do 3 rounds to about 70 to 80% of your failure. And you'll notice over the course of even 2 months that your time, if you tested the 1-minute side plank test, is you get way better. Now this exercise becomes other exercises. In my opinion, you don't need to do side planks forever. This is just a building block into another exercise which will complement and serve you well more over time. Side planks are essentially loaded carries. We'll cover loaded carries in a whole different video on this channel, so please subscribe and you'll see that when it comes out. But for now, if you guys want help designing a program around your grumpy low back, reach out to us. Our link is in the description below. We do virtual programming as well.